Welcome back to the 2021 NOSSCAR GT Cup Series live on Gran Turismo Sport, and as you can see, 15 drivers are set and ready to begin here today for the Nurburgring Grand Prix event. There's some technical difficulties going on with TXO, one of the drivers in today's race, and there you see he is now gone and done for the day. There was some sort of glitchiness going on there, so now it's going to be 14 drivers, it appears, lining up for the beginning of this one. Even Steven is going to lead them to the green with Ned in second, Jesse Carlson in third, and Scorpion in fourth from France making another start here in the GT Cup Series. There's Bo Tedesco starting in fifth in the Mazda Atenza. Timac, 2 wins this season, starts in sixth in the number 32 Nissan GTR. Sergio Suarez from Mexico starting in seventh. Juicy J starts in eighth in the Nissan GTR. And Dodge Viper Beam SKP starts in ninth from France. And Tonga Racing out of Argentina rounds out the top 10. 14 cars taking the green flag. We are underway in Nürburgring. Steven's got the lead, very comfortable cushion to start it off. A clean turn one for all of these cars. Ned in second, Jesse Carlson settles in line to third. Bo Tedesco moves up in front of Scorpion to take fourth. Scorpion back to fifth. Timac holds stationary in sixth. There's Sergio Suarez in seventh. And all positions hold the same except for Bo Tedesco taking over fourth in that number 11 Mazda Atenza. We'll have to see what he can do in today's race. There's pure domination for even Steven last week in Brands Hatch. He's looking for similar results here in Nürburgring. Had that track last week, well scouted and well prepared for himself, and now here at Nürburgring might have his hands a little bit more full. He was telling us before the race began that he's not as confident as he normally is for this race, but for a driver lacking confidence, seems to be not lacking any speed here so far on lap 1 at Nürburgring. It's got the lead and he's slowly driving away. Ned holding on to second in the number 24 Dodge Viper. Going for the championship this year, especially after winning the Rolex 8 in the GT Cup division. In these GR3 cars, he and Footman both teamed up and won the event for the GT Cup class, driving the Dodge Viper. A heck of a performance by those drivers, and since then, no wins, but a couple of strong showings for both drivers. Actually, I shouldn't say that. Footman won a Blue Moon Bay Speedway in a wild, dramatic, controversial finish involving Ned and even Steven. Contact made between Steven and Ned, and both drivers were penalized as a result, and Footman was able to emerge victorious on that very day. Jesse Carlson driving a police paint job here this week on that shitty Corvette. Running in third, looking for his first career NOSSCAR GT Cup Series win. And solid start to the day. Qualified third, runs in third. The Corvette looks fast. He just hasn't been able to find a way around Ned in the early going. And you know what? That's not an easy task. Ned has been compared to Ryan Newman many different times this season, and one of those drivers that's done the comparison was Jesse Carlson, who's the driver right behind him. Not easy to pass Ned, and I think a lot of that has to do with the car. See, the balance of performance setting is turned on for these races. It's a setting Gran Turismo Sport offers. It alters the horsepower and weight for all of the cars in the race, and it makes it a little bit more even, and it does the best that it can. There's a system in line for the game, and it's how it judges everything. But it still gives the acceleration advantage out of the corners to the Dodge Viper, and Ned's been able to put that to good use, and he's been able to make life difficult for other drivers trying to pass him. Jesse staying right with them. Bo staying right with both of these drivers, not too far back until you find Scorpion, who's trying to kill off some penalty time as he rides along in fifth. Timac in sixth, and Sergio Suarez in another Mazda Atenza running in seventh, finding a ride wherever he can in these races. He drove a Nissan GTR last week at Brands Hatch and finished in 10th. 16 14 drivers from 6 countries entered that race, and it was arguably the wildest race of the season thus far. UCJ in 8th, Beam SKP, another Viper, running in 9th. Tonga, the Volkswagen Beetle, running in 10th, having an alright day. Bowman Nation, Shadow, and Crazy Legs round out the rest of the field. 14 drivers officially started this race, 16 drivers credited for points in total. And he's done it, folks. Jesse Carlson has finally been able to work his way around Ned. We'll have to see how he got the job done. He used this long front stretch, or back stretch I should call it. It's got a right bend in it, but it's a full throttle section of the racetrack. He used the draft beautifully there and was able to pull his Corvette to the inside of Ned, complete the pass before the next corner. And to second place goes Jesse Carlson. Very unique paint job for him this week. We'll get to see it. Paint job on that Chevy Corvette, and he's looking strong up in second. And if anything does happen to even Steven, or if Jesse has something for him, history could be made here today. Could be the day Jesse finally gets that very first NOSSCAR GT Cup Series win. He's been so close so many different times, and maybe today here in Germany it'll be his day. Ed runs in third, just behind him. Bo Tedesco has been right there on the bumper of the drivers running second and third since the green lights turned on. And how about Scorpion? The Toyota Supra. Driver out of France, does not race full-time with us, runs part-time, but whenever he does, he's always up there in the top 10 and having a good race. Right now, having a great race up there in the top 5, and it's looking to be a breakout performance here today for Scorpion if he can just keep on doing what he's doing. Bringing down solid lap times and keeping all 4 tires on the racetrack. Suarez up in 7th. Beam SKP, good friends with Scorpion, running in 9th, having some handling problems with that Dodge Viper so far in this race, but it's a long gap back to the driver running in 10th out of Argentina, so that's going in Beam's favor, as well as Sergio. And something happened to Suarez. Yeah, whoa! And the Mazda Atenza of Suarez off course. He's going to lose 7th and 8th. Juicy J goes by for 7th. Beam SKP, we were just talking about him, goes by for 8th. So a problem there for the driver in the Mazda Atenza, and that's a tough break. Suarez was up there having a great race so far. Teammate to Bo Tedesco, and Bo's still having a great run. Running in 4th. The leader is long gone. That's even Steven, and it's no surprise, really. 2-time GT Cup Series champion, 2-time NOSSCAR World Champion in the Super Formula cars. One of the very best on Gran Turismo Sport. He races the sport mode races daily, and whoa, and right when I'm talking good about him, he actually goes off course. He overdrove that corner of the track back there, and the green rumble strip there that you see to the outside of the red and white rumble strips, there is no grip on that green strip. It's a lot like ice. And so once Steven got 4 tires on there, it was no good. It was no man's land. So he opted to drive the car completely off the course instead to the asphalt that lays outside of the circuit, get some traction out there, and then kind of set himself up better for the next corner that way. What this did was it allowed Jesse Carlson to gain some of that ground back on even Steven. Ned is now under heavy fire from Bo Tedesco for the 3rd place position. The Mazdas are looking pretty strong so far in this one. One thing you'll notice, folks, there's no Bill Baldwin here today. So the Mazda banner being carried by Bo Tedesco and Sergio Suarez. Both drivers currently scored in 4th and 9th, respectively, in the running order. The Nissan car's off to a bit of a rocky start. There's Timac. This year's Rolex 8 winner in the Super GT class, running in 6th, and Juicy J has had to climb through the field a little bit here. He's passed 3 cars since the start of this race and has worked his way up into 7th. Not the strongest qualifying runs for the Nissan GTR cars. Timac started in 7th. He's worked his way up 1 position to that P6 spot, and he's been kind of hanging out right at about the same distance behind Scorpion. Scorpion in the Toyota Supra just in front of him. It's a much bigger track than Brands Hatch. We were watching some wild and exciting short track road course racing last week, and now here we are at the Nurburgring Grand Prix, where they are turning anywhere from 155 to 159 lap times in these GR3 cars with no custom setups. So it's a very different element here, but it's still the same rules package, folks. Custom tuning, balance of performance on, 60-minute endurance race. It really opens the door for these drivers to go off on their own strategies and maybe try to find victory lane that way. We've seen it work for some drivers before, and today could be another one of those days. And I'll tell you, lately the only way to challenge even Steven for these GT Cup Series wins is simply to do just that. Go off on a different strategy and hope that a 2-stopper is better than a 3, or a 1-stopper is the way to go. Or if you see even Steven go for a 1-stopper, try the 2 stops and push as hard as you can rather than doing what he's doing and pit once and lift the rest of the time. You really do need to do a little bit of different thinking than even Steven in order to beat him, and he's still not easy. And the battle for 4th is now on. We saw Bo challenging Ned for 3rd earlier in this race, and since then he's now fallen behind a little bit in pace, and Scorpion is capitalizing on this. Maybe Bo used up his tires a little bit trying to get that position from Ned, and it's cost him. Scorpion, out of France, takes the 4th place position away. French drivers running 4th and 8th at this time in the race. 11 cars left on the racetrack. Wow, Ned tried to kill a very significant penalty there. I didn't see exactly what caused it. He evidently exceeded the track limits somewhere in this race. And now he's trying to kill that penalty, and it's actually allowing Scorpion to gain a whole lot of ground on him. Scorpion knocking on the door of a podium spot in this race, and it would be his first career podium if he can finish there. And number 66 Toyota Supra is hauling the mail here today in Germany. Bo falls off the pace just a little bit. Still scored in the top 5, but no immediate challenge from anybody behind him. Timac in 6, not close enough to make a run for any top 5 spots as of now. Juicy J, kind of on his own. No trouble in front of him, no trouble behind him. There's Beam in the number 16 Dodge Viper, finished on the podium in the Rolex 8 for the GT Cup class. Nation in the Chevy Corvette, number 88 car, running in 9th. Shadow just came out of the pits in the Ferrari. He scored in the 10th place position. How about Robert Lohman Sr.? 14 cars started this race, and the 42 Chevy Corvette still solid on the racetrack. And if anybody else has any type of problem today, if we see any more attrition, it could be a top 10 finish. And strategy deployed, and it's by somebody we didn't expect any type of strategy from, and that's even Steven. He is on pit road for service, and it's a little bit early. I guess not. If he's trying to do this on a 2-stop strategy, then it's the perfect time to bring the number 15 Audi R8 down pit road, but we'll have to see how this all unfolds, because a lot of these drivers stayed out. They might be thinking 1-stopper. This hands the lead over to Jesse Carlson in the Chevy Corvette. Unique paint job for him this week in Germany. Driving a police paint job. Yet to see that from him. There's Ned running in second, still trying to kill some track time penalty. There's Scorpion, and now for the first time in Scorpion's career, he finds himself in a podium spot in a NOSSCAR GT Cup Series race. Tarmac runs in fourth. He was able to work his way around Bo Tedesco about a lap ago. Put the GTR up one spot. And it seems like the longer the race goes, the Nissans come to life more and more. Jesse Carlson comes to pit road in the Chevy Corvette. Beam SKP does the same thing in the number 16 Dodge Viper. And this is all happening at the 22-minute mark of this race. So it's safe to say that they're going for the two-stop strategy as well. And this leaves the lead to Scorpion. How about it? It's the first laps he's ever led in a NOSSCAR GT Cup Series race, and he's waving that French flag proud. And his hometown fans, I guarantee you, are going nuts for him. He's got the lead here in Nurburgring. We're a third of the way through this race. 23 minutes deep. So we have under 37 minutes remaining. If Scorpion can keep running the type of race that he's running, and I see no reason why he's not going to challenge for the win at the end of the day. Even Steven has dedicated himself to a two-stop strategy, and depending on the fuel that these cars have, if they can dedicate themselves to a one-stopper, they might be able to They might have enough distance on Even Steven to still be in front of him at the end of this race. Even Steven scored in 6th, and he is behind everybody who is yet to make a pit stop. It's going to be really close by the end of this one. Ned still killing a penalty. Runs in 2nd. Tarmac runs in 3rd. Bo Tedesco runs in 4th. Here comes Juicy J running in 5th. And then it's a little bit of a ways back until you find Even Steven, who runs in the 6th place position. Jesse Carlson has also already been to pit road. He is in 7th. We've had 3 different leaders in this race. Jesse Carlson, Even Steven, and now Scorpion in the number 66 Toyota Supra. Round 9, the 2021 NOSSCAR GT Cup Series season, posted here on Gran Turismo Sport. And if you like what you see, and if you enjoy the show so far, hit that like and subscribe button here on the NOSSCAR Series Racing YouTube channel. We've got all kinds of action, from Gran Turismo Sport to iRacing to WreckFest to NASCAR Heat 5, you name it. We've got a little bit of everything here. And the Scorpion has come to pit road, surrenders the race lead. And it's at the 26-minute mark. He's kind of right in the fringe. He's on the fringe of a 2-stopper or a 1-stopper in this one. And it leaves the lead with Tarmac. First lap he's led in this race. 4 different leaders now so far in Nurburgring. And right behind him in 2nd. Juicy J runs in 3rd. He was able to work his way around Bo Tedesco just about a lap and a half ago. Even Steven has worked his way to 5th. Despite already being on pit road for service. And Ty's going to stay on the track again. He's going to lead a 2nd lap, and Ned's going to stay on the track with him. They locked up the brakes there in turn 1. You can see the right front brake rotor start to glow on the number 32 Nissan GTR as his teammate Juicy J in the 18 GTR is on pit road for his first pit stop of the race, and this coming at the 28-minute mark. So there really can't be much fuel left in the tank for Tarmac, and the black car you see just behind this battle for the lead was Even Steven in 3rd. He's already been to pit road. It's pretty dedicated to a 2-stop strategy, and the question is, if you go with a 1-stopper, are you still going to be in front of Even Steven at the end of it? Because Even Steven's speed the difference of lap times, it might be enough for Steven to still walk away the winner here today despite making one extra pit stop. It's going to be close by the end of this one. I've been crunching numbers over here while trying to do commentary, and I think that it's possible. I think even Steven's going to either be in front by a second or behind by a second at the end. Here they come. Timac surrenders the lead. Ned surrenders second. Neither one of them could go one more lap, or they would have been short on fuel. Bo Tedesco comes to pit road, and the Mazda Atenza as well. And this puts even Steven back in the race lead for the first time in about, I'd say about 11 minutes. And Jesse Carlson is going to take second place back. That's exactly where he was running before the cycle of pit stops. He has also dedicated himself to a two-stop strategy in this race. Scorpion, two-stopper for him today as well. Takes third. And Timac and Ned are going to come back onto the racetrack just in front of Beam SKP. In the 4th and 5th place positions, Juicy J will be 7th. Bo Tedesco will be in 8th. And the question is the one-stop strategy the right call? There's a number of these drivers trying to make it work. I don't know if it's going to get them the win, but it might get them a better spot in the final results. Might get them up the running order, up the leaderboard just a bit more. The closest car to the front that is dedicated to a one-stop strategy is Timac in 4th, and then Ned in 5th. Ned's been trying to kill the same penalty off for about half of this race now, and it's now losing a little bit of ground to the number 32 Nissan GTR. It's been all even Steven in terms of speed. He's out front. He's got the lead. And the only way somebody's going to leapfrog him here in the race results and steal it out from underneath them is if the one-stop strategy works. Amongst all the drivers dedicated to the two-stopper, I don't believe anybody's going to run him down and challenge him for the win. Jesse Carlson is the second car in line when it comes to the two-stop strategy. And he is about 9.5 seconds behind your race leader, and it is growing. Despite the impressive lap times and the speed that Jesse has brought to today's race, just it's not quite good enough to stay with even Steven. In fact, nobody's lap times appear to be good enough to stick with the 4-time NOSSCAR champion. I can't salute Scorpion enough, though. It's been a real treat to see him running around competitively in today's race. Currently scored in 3rd in that Toyota Supra. It's on the two-stop strategy, and if it's the strategy that prevails in the end, he very well could be standing on the podium at the end of this one, and that would be a first time in his career. Now, the thing is, we're right at the mark now, though, where everybody dedicated to the two-stopper is going to be coming in for their second and final stop of the race, and that's exactly what even Steven just did. Jesse Carlson does the same thing in his number 48 Chevy Corvette this week with a special police paint job on that car. This gives the lead back to Scorpion. I believe we've had 8 or 9 lead changes now in this race. And 4 different race leaders. And who knows, maybe there's a home continent advantage here. Scorpion looking for every advantage he can get. He's got the lead right now, but again, folks, he still needs to come to pit road, and the car behind him, you can see on your frame, that is even Steven, who has already been to pit road for his final pit stop of the race. And he runs in second. So these two cars right here, Timac and Ned, who have not made a second pit stop, they are still behind even Steven, and they're going to go all the way to the finish. So that's what I meant earlier. The speed even Steven is laying down has been good enough to overcome pitting an extra time compared to the one-stop strategy crew. Which is being led by Timac, with Ned hounding him every lap, trying to take that position away. And you got to wonder a little bit when Scorpion's going to bring his Toyota Supra to pit road. Not this time, that's for sure. He's going to stay out one more, lead another lap. Even Steven is gaining ground on him. And Beam SKP, we can tell you, was on pit road for his final pit stop of the race in the number 16 Dodge Viper. Podium finisher in this year's Rolex 8 in the GT Cup class. Bowman Nation brings his number 88 Chevy Corvette to pit road. It's been a top 10 car all race long for him, and he's pretty happy with it. Just looking to finish strong. Side by side for third and fourth. Ned takes a look. He's going to be on the outside for the next turn, though, and that's not where he wants to be. Timac hangs on for now. Ned attempted a crossover move, and Ned is going to take third. Timac wiggles and slips and lets Ned and Juicy J both go by, and Timac drops to fifth. Jason Carlson not far behind him, and he's scored in sixth, and he's on a two-stop strategy, so he's got much fresher tires than the cars just in front of him. How about Juicy J? He's knocking on the door of a podium finish here today, and he was not in any contention for that earlier in this race. Qualified deeper in the field, was running 7th or 8th around there for a lot of this one, and now here on lap 25 rather, he finds himself up in 4th, and he's right behind Ned. He's got a legitimate chance to go up there and get a top 3 in this one. And either way, you can't be more proud of the effort this team has shown all race long to turn a bad day into a good day here in Germany. Juicy J, one of those drivers going for the championship this year. Had a great start after finishing on the podium in the GT Cup class in the Rolex 8. He's challenging the driver who won the GT Cup class in the Rolex 8 this year, and that is Ned. Very tricky area there. Maybe braking point. It is a good passing zone for that reason, but as of now, can't quite get the job done and get around that Ned machine. Scorpion on pit road surrenders the race lead in the number 66 Toyota Supra. He's on a two-stop strategy, therefore he's going to have much fresher tires than the cars in front of him. Question is, does he have enough time with only under 9 minutes remaining to run down those cars and get himself back in the top 5, maybe even the podium before the end of this race? And Juicy J finds himself all the way up into P2. It's the highest he's run all race long. I don't think he's going to be able to run up there and challenge for the win here today, but wow, what a day it would be. What a race it would be if Juicy J can hang on to second and finish there. It's 22 valuable points towards his run at the championship. There are 4 drivers all knotted up here for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Timac hanging in there with these drivers. He's worn his stuff up a little bit and trying to get to the end here. We have under 7 minutes remaining. And all of a sudden, Juicy J goes from 2nd to 4th in one corner, and it happens down here in turn 1. Overshoots it. You can see the right front brake rotor glowing on that car. Ned is going to take the position, and Jesse Carlson follows him through in the Chevy Corvette. GTR suddenly running 4th and 5th. Time running out. And Ned is going to get to battle in here, looks like, with Jesse Carlson as they are side by side. Jesse's going to take over 2nd. We've had 3 different cars in 2nd place within 3 corners. You can't get much better action than this. And you can only find it here in the NOSSCAR GT Cup Series on Gran Turismo Sport. 3rd annual season. for the GT Cup Series. What a year it's been so far. It's round 9 of 20. Almost to the halfway mark of the season. Even Steven, the new points leader after today, as they run. If he wins this race, he is in front of Ned in the point standings. Ned trying to hang on to third. Juicy J in fourth, Timac in fifth. They're all right there, locked up, bumper to bumper. And what Scorpion wants to see is these cars all get into each other, because he's not quite close enough to make some passes and try to work his way into the top 5. The speed is there. He's quicker than all of them. He's just not close enough. Left side of the car came way off the ground that time for Jesse Carlson as he goes up and over the rumble strip. He's got a firm lock on second here at this point in the race, in my opinion. He's a 2-stop strategy car, so therefore he's got much fresher tires than some of these cars that are just behind him. And all he really needs to do is just drive smart at this point and save his stuff. Don't think he needs to push as hard as he possibly can in order to keep him behind him. And the GTR teammates swapped positions there. Back in turn 1, Timac up to 4th, Juicy J back to 5th. Been a high-speed chess match since the green lights turned on. It's going to continue to be just that all the way to the very end of this one. Ned still has penalty time that he has not killed in this race, and that is going to affect his results at the end. And same with even Steven, but he really doesn't have anything to worry about when it comes to that. He's got the lead, and he's got firm control over it. It is a long 17.5-second gap back to the driver in second, and that is Jesse Carlson. Jesse is beginning to stretch his gap over Ned now with those fresher 4 Michelins. And we have under 2 minutes to go. The battle here, the closest battle to the front is probably going to be between Ned and Timac, and now Juicy J is on pit road. Evidently, he could not make it to the very end on fuel, and that is a heartbreaker because he surrenders a top 5 finish by bringing that GTR back to pit road for a second time in this race. It moves Scorpion in the Toyota Supra up to 5th. Bo Tedesco runs in 6th, and Beam SKP runs in 7th. The French drivers running 5th and 7th. It's going to be a wild party in their home country. And even Steven looking to hang on just for literally under a minute here. So when he comes around this time to the start-finish line, they're going to give him the white flag because there's only going to be 30 seconds left on the clock, and they're running 1:55 to 1:59 minute lap times here, 2-minute lap times. So there's the white flag for even Steven. One more lap here at the Nurburgring Grand Prix. Jesse Carlson is going to get the same flag. He's going to be done for this race. I don't know if Ned and Timac are going to get there in time before they wave the checker. The clock is getting closer to the 60-minute mark. They're not going to make it. It's going to be their last lap in this race. Yeah, the checkered is out. Ned's going to claim 3rd, but with the penalty time, Timac is going to take 3rd, Scorpion is going to take 4th, and Ned is going to finish in 5th. You can see the game automatically adjusted there. That 2.7 second penalty time, that did Ned in at the very end. So Timac claims the 3rd and final spot on the podium. Jesse Carlson is going to hold on to 2nd. And even Steven working his last lap here in Germany. It's going to be his 5th win of the season. He holds the all-time record for the most wins and most pole awards, most fastest race laps. Pretty much every stat you can think of, even Steven is on the very top here for the NOSSCAR GT Cup Series. And you're seeing why. He's run a Subaru to a championship, and now he's running an Audi R8 to a potential 2021 GT Cup Series championship here on Gran Turismo Sport. One of the very best we've ever seen. And he's shows us every week why that is, folks. It's only got a couple more corners to go through the chicane for the final time. That chicane has caused many problems for many drivers this season, not only for GT Cup, but for the World Championship when we were here as well. But out of the final corner for the final time, and the two-time GT Cup champ does it again. Even Steven wins the Nurburgring Grand Prix. Domination. Stuck to his guns, went for the two-stop strategy with confidence that he had the speed to overcome anyone doing the one-stopper, and he did it. Jesse Carlson out of fuel in the final turn, I believe, and he's going to finish in second. And we'd like to thank the viewers for joining us for round 9 of the season. Keep your eyes on the YouTube channel. Congratulations to Even Steven. Good night, everybody, and stay fast.